What's up, everybody? Meathead Moto here with you for a video quick about the crazy stuff that's been going on or went on last week with my bike. I kind of want to give you all just some, I don't know, not really helpful tips, I guess, because I just want you to more or less learn from my stupidity in this regard. So last week, Wednesday, I came out here. I was all suited up, ready to go to work. I come out here, turn the bike to ignition, turn the run on, hear the pump run, go to crank it, and all the bike does is crank. Now granted, what happened at first was I had a little message. If you have a Dyna or have a Softail or any of the bikes that just have the speedometer that have the little message board in there, you'll know that it will have, if you've seen it before, that's like V nerve or whatever. That message translates to like a voltage issue. The bike is not getting proper voltage. And what ended up happening is from there, I was like, oh, I've had that message come up a couple of times. I think that I might just be having a weak battery. Battery is dying on me. And when I pulled the battery out, naturally, I looked at the stamp on it, and this is my old battery from my KTM, but this is the battery that was in the bike. I would assume that 29/12/22 is either, this has got to be the year, month, date that this is manufactured. So we're talking about an almost 4-year-old battery. But after that, I went and got a new battery. I got a lithium battery, put the battery in, go to crank it. And first time I tried to crank it, it did just crank and not run. Then I cycled the fuel pump again, cranked it, fired up, and I'm like, okay, sweet. We solved the problem. I took it around, took a little lap around town real quick, and then came back, put the bike away, thinking it was good. Thursday morning comes around, come out and do the same thing. You know, I'm all ready, all suited up. I'm going to move these clothes out of the way. I'm all suited up, and I go get on the bike and go and try and start it, and all it does is crank. I'm like, what the fuck? What just happened? And I'm like, well, maybe it's the battery, because the battery was not fully charged and I didn't put it on a tender or whatnot. So I'm like, I ordered a tender, but I also then decided I was going to check, make sure I was actually getting spark. This is where you can learn from me here, because on these bikes, the way that this EFI system works on these is if you pull the spark plugs out of the head, plug it back into the wire and and hold that spark plug against the cylinder and then crank, you won't see spark ever. And the reason why is that the system will not spark if it senses that there's no compression. I'm going to tell you that just now because I spent way too much time chasing, do I have spark or no spark? Because sometimes I was getting spark and sometimes I wasn't. And the times I was getting spark, it was because I had left the spark plugs that were in here but then put a new one in the wire and cranked, and I could see spark. And I'm like, oh, cool, I got spark. But naturally, that whole system, that whole path led me down a really wrong way. So I ended up replacing the ignition coil. Obviously, you got new fat wires, which that's kind of nice anyway. I put new NGK spark plugs in there, and I'm like, well, those didn't get me spark because I was still pulling the spark plugs out. So then I went and got a new crank sensor, and that didn't do it. And I'm like, but then a buddy of mine had mentioned the decompression valves getting stuck open. And then I was like, wait a minute, what you're saying to me is if those were stuck open, I wouldn't get spark because of the way the system works. I'm like, but I was also taking spark plugs out to check. So did the actual screwdriver in the spark plug hold it against the head and see if or against the jug and see if it sparks? Both of them, that spark. So I have spark. So I was like, okay, spark is eliminated. We have spark. That's one problem. The battery is nice and fully charged. I left it on the battery tender the whole time, so the battery is not an issue. So kind of come over here, and I'm like, okay, do I have air going in and going out? So when I'm cranking it, I have my hand against the exhaust. Obviously, I could feel air coming out. I took my air filter off and put my hand up against the intake, see if I could get air sucking in. Yep. So the valves and all that in theory are all working. I'm getting compression. because I'm getting spark. So last but not least, what does that leave? Fuel. I'm not getting fuel properly. So I took a little bit of something flammable naturally and took it with the air filter off, open up the throttle body all the way and, spray something flammable in there, crank it, and boom, 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 it would fire up for like a half second and then be dead. So it was a fuel delivery issue. Now this is where I'm going to come back to like a little rant about why I think it's important for everybody to ride your stuff, because they don't get any younger by sitting, but let's just say. So this bike is 12 years old. It's a 2014 Dyna Street Bob, but it only had 9,000 miles on it. What I ended up replacing and fixing that fixed my issue was the fuel filter. Now, anybody who's ever done the fuel filter in any of these bikes knows that it's a pain in the butt to get it in there and get it out. But I did it, and literally right away, first crank, did like two cycles, and then boom, fired right up. And I'm like, $6 fix, but I ended up going down such a bad rabbit hole. I ended up spending way more than that. But nonetheless, bike has been running great. I've been riding it all week this week, basically. But Harley recommends that you change the fuel filter every 100,000 miles. 9,000 miles is not greater than 100,000, that's for sure. So I would argue that you're better off replacing it by a year basis, not a mile basis. This being 12 years old, 12 years it did more time sitting with gas in the fuel tank than it did actually riding. So this is a meathead tip. If you're going to end up having to do maintenance on stuff anyway, because it's going to just be sitting, or you're going to end up running into maintenance intervals even though it's sitting, go and ride it. And that also adds into my belief that there are the Harley owners per se, are the reason why Harley Davidson motorcycles gets a bad rap, because there are far more people that own Harleys than ride Harleys. If this had like 30,000 miles, 50,000 miles on it, and now all of a sudden it had stopped running, I probably would have been much more likely to be like, oh, I'm going to change that fuel filter. I bet you that's the problem. Oh, granted, part of it is also me going down the completely wrong rabbit hole, which happens from time to time, But nonetheless, this bike ran into that fuel filter needing to be replaced, despite it not having the miles on it that would have dictated it needing it replaced. Now, good mechanics, I think, online say every 3 to 5 years anyway for the fuel filter. So, it kind of makes sense that this is, well overdue for that anyway. But also, Mellow Yellow Zero, pretty good. Nonetheless, after all that nonsense, the bike is now running. It's running good. Cleaned the air filter, re-oiled it. I'm running new spark plugs. I'm not running the new coil. I'm still using the Harley coil, because the coil I bought was a Buddy Bezos special, where it's only like $30, and even like a Drag Specialties replacement coil is like 80. So I might trust it in a pinch, but I don't know if I'd trust it all the time. But I am running the new spark plug wires, the new spark plugs. I still have the Harley spark plug wires and the spark plugs just in case I need to replace it. But let my troubleshooting DIY rabbit hole fiasco, that's the word I was looking for, fiasco, be a lesson to all of you out there that let's go ride your stuff. You're going to run into maintenance intervals anyway. So you might as well go and enjoy your bike and ride it as much as you can, because that fuel filter is going to look crappy after 12 years. even if you've only put 5,000 miles on a bike, 9,000 miles on a bike. And it can cause you problems. Like it's the beautiful part of that whole thing is it's the three screws, 3 bolts, pop that off. It's just, there's a few little things you gotta do. The hardest part is getting that the fuel pump and stuff maneuvered in such a way that you can get it out. But beyond that, it's really not too terrible of a job. And that's one thing I do like about a Harley, even though they have the synonymous history of being unreliable, they're still easy to work on if you do have to work on it by yourself. Unlike my friend whose Kawasaki was having charging or battery issues, but we were trying to figure out if it was a charging issue or not, and she had to take off all kinds of plastics and pieces in order to get to the regulator and stuff. Whole mess of worms that was. But nonetheless, guys, I want to do a quick video kind of like detailing to all of you like what I've been up to and what I was just dealing with, and to hopefully give you guys information to learn from my mistake, because I'm not a mechanic. I am not a Harley tech. I am just a guy in the garage that's like had a bike just out of nowhere, stopped running, didn't want to start, and me troubleshooting it maybe will help you along the way to figure out why maybe whatever happens sometimes, maybe yours didn't want to start. So like, again, quick little like rundown. This system does not spark if you don't have compression. If you're worried you don't have spark, pull your spark plug wire and take a screwdriver, put it in the end, and crank your bike over. If it arcs, that means at least your coil is still good and your spark plug wires are still good, and it's sending spark to there. Now obviously you can get a spark plug tester that would tell you if your spark plugs are actually sparking or not. But then the crank sensor is also like, if you are 3 or 5 years in, supposedly those crank sensors go bad randomly, and so at least that's cheap $100 insurance. Here, I'll show you where the crank sensor is. So that little guy right there, that's the crank sensor. It's just literally that Allen screw. Pull that out. Make sure you pull the O-ring that's around it with it, and then it just it plugs in down under here, right here. So super easy to put it in. Yeah, so welcome to the headache, but now we're riding, and gonna go on the Cruising for Critters ride this weekend on Saturday for the Sioux Falls Area Humane Society. So if you guys are in the area and you're looking for something to do, come on out. I'll be there. We can all hang out and go for a good ride for a good cause. So peace out. Stay meaty.